Hey
Jordan, what's up?
guys,
You
how
got us?
are you? Yeah, I have you. How's it going?
It's going well. How about you?
Oh, it's good. I'm drinking your beer, so it can't
I was
be
gonna say,
that bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
we didn't have any of the solar left, so we just go
there
some
you go.
Kolsch.
That works. How is that one tasting?
Great,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Everything's been going really well. Cans are selling out like in 20 minutes sometimes, so it's been going great.
Yeah.
Depends on the beer, of course.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Oh, here we go.
yeah, there you go. Both get in the frame. Yeah, if there's a beer that you guys announce and it's one that I like really want to get, I have to like set a timer on my phone or like an alert to remind me to get on as soon as you start selling it, because yeah, they fly.
That's what everybody's saying. They're like setting alarms for what the beer they like. So
Which is great for you. That is not a bad thing that you're selling so much. But welcome. This is my podcast. I started it in quarantine, and basically what I do is talk about sports and beer, both from the Pittsburgh area. And this is the third time in one of my episodes that I'm having a Grist House beer. And because I always speak so highly of your brewery, like I wanted to have you guys come on and just talk a little bit about it and share more than what I can, because there's so much that goes on that obviously is over my head and over a lot of people's heads. But if you could just like kind of share a bit about what Grist House is all about, like what's your goal, what are your like what are you shooting for, what in this whole thing?
But I think it's just been naturally, organically, just very accepting and open to any person. I know that there's just no pretension with the people around. You know, I know that. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's just very, very open to everyone. There's, I was saying, there's no pretension in what we're doing. It's just a place that we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy the people that come here, no matter who they are and what they drink and how they drink and how little, they're here, how much they're here. We just appreciate people being here. It's natural. That's what I think about it. It's a very natural setting for acceptance.
yeah, the community too, as well. They embraced us. At first, I'm sure there were some complaints, but it got more as they start to know the regulars and the people what we're about, what we're doing, and we got flooded, and we're helping other people in the area as well while we're cleaning up. So people are awesome to come in and bring us bring us bread or something that they're making. They bring like whatever they offer, just to come in for happy hours. Like they got a lot of people coming on Thursday. They're the regulars. They're always giving us, here's some bread, here's some snacks, whatever. And they're awesome. They're just great people to come in here.
Yeah, all walks of life come through here. It's not just a young place, not an old place. It's everything. It's all over the spectrum. That's what I'm drawn to.
Yeah, and this is kind of a situation where you don't have to have any security here, because the people that come in there, they can police everything else if we need to. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, the very first time that I went to Grist House on a Saturday, I think the one thing that stood out to me more than even the amount of people that were there was the wide range of ages and types of people. Like there was no one specific demographic that was filling the place. It was people's parents, people's grandparents, people in my generation. Like you guys appeal to pretty much everybody. And the thing that I love the most about the beer that you produce is that you do beer all over the spectrum. You don't really specialize in one type, but you do them all essentially to perfection. There are a lot of breweries that either hone in on one style and they do it really well, or there are breweries that try to do too much and all of their beers are kind of just okay. But the reason I fell in love with Grist House was because there's always something for everybody, and it's never average. It's always phenomenal, which is
What's your favorite beer?
well, like style.
You start there. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever I first started coming to Grist, I think my favorite style at that point was IPA. I was really into milkshake IPAs and kind of the hazier stuff, but I started transitioning into really enjoying sours a lot. So that's kind of what I've been gravitating towards over the past 4 or 5 months or so.
So you back to what you were saying before. You actually took the words out of my mouth and what I was going to say with the rounded. Why the place comes off so rounded is because the tap list is so rounded as well. And you actually said it better than I was going to say, that we can appeal to many people because we can appeal to many different palates. And you said it like that. We don't just do the styles, the wide style. We do a wide style. Well, we can make a Belgian. I like working for a place that's that rounded because I don't have to sell the same beer to people, to the same person. We're having a culture now. It's 2:00 on Wednesday. That's perfect. I don't want a double IPA right now, but sometimes I do, and I'm able to have that. And sometimes I do want malt. Sometimes I do, want something tart, and we have that ability. And it's just like everyone. I think the variety of our style that we make creates the variety of people that come here.
Right, which is so cool.
It's my second. I was talking with Vegas. I was like, I had one prior. That's why I was late. Sorry about that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's all good. Seriously, it's not like I have anywhere to be. Yeah. So I meant to have you introduce yourselves at first, but can you say who you are, what your role is within Grist House?
My name is Zach Rock. I'm the brewery rep here at Grist House, and I handle sales to the outside accounts, bars and stuff. I handle events that we put on throughout the year. And right now it's not the time for public gatherings. So the business model has changed here at Grist House a little bit.
Yeah, and then I'm Chuck Kelley, and I'm more of the bartender, and basically do everything for any event that we have. Like I'm able to do anything actually with you, because he used to come up the cocktails, and I get to work with him when I'm not just throwing beers. So
that's so cool. So what does it look like as the kind of brewery rep and event planner when nobody's serving beer on tap and no events are going on?
Everyone's asking that question to me now. Well, we got to get beer since there's not bars to take beer to. We don't really, and we're selling. We don't need to take our beer anywhere right now. We're putting everything in the cans and selling it. Consumption of alcohol is up. It's up. For better or for worse. So we're packaging a lot, and we're selling it all there. And we also are offering a delivery. So just my outside sales chain shifted to home delivery, running that operation and getting people, if they especially at the peak of this, deliveries were were in demand. So we were doing deliveries of home deliveries of beer. But besides that,
how's that been working? Like I just saw you do that delivery yesterday. That was the first time, because I'm always out of Collier. But I was like, how's that going? Like, there's demand.
It's not a lot of the orders. A lot of people are comfortable picking up the beer now, but there's 20, 25 a week.
Are they checking IDs when you get there? You do that.
When we get there, some people take their ID to the door. Some people just leave it on a chair outside. But
wow, crazy.
And others, yeah.
Man,
yeah, I didn't know how demand was for delivery.
Are you picking up beer at the brewery, Jordan?
I'm Collier. Collier is a lot closer to me. I live by the airport, Robinson. That that area, so it's a pretty quick drive down the highway into Oakdale for me, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to when you guys get that location up and running, because it's going to be probably a hot spot throughout the week.
In time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Chuck, so have you mostly been handling sales of beer, since obviously the bar isn't open?
No, just been bartending. Like, that's all. And once we opened the Collier place, that was great to get out there and get just to realize that demand in that area is huge. And it's just, we have to make sure we have somebody at both locations. So I've said, hey, send me out in Collier. I mean, I live between both places. I live in Mount Washington, so
Okay.
I could, if somebody needs to leave or need to cover like a shift or something, or if demand's really high, I can get there in a minute. So it's been going well, man. And we're still filling growlers, and
Right.
it started with just a couple, and then we realized, man, we had to buy more. Remember we had like the 64s were all gone. We got little ones, so the math's been great, both sides.
Yeah.
Cans and growlers. So
yeah, I really do think that's excellent for you. A lot of people are, when this started, were legitimately concerned about the small businesses, the locally owned businesses, because at the beginning of all of this, everything was up in the air. It was like, how are businesses going to navigate this, and how can people still support them when we're really not supposed to go anywhere? So it's been really cool to see how you and some of the other breweries within the city have found a way to work around that and really excel in sales and also quality of product, because I feel like from the very beginning, probably starting with I don't know if you guys released the banana stout in quarantine, but as soon as you release that beer, I feel like every single thing that you've done since then has just been top notch.
Yeah, that was the first one to sell out. That was the first one to sell out in a day during quarantine.
Did you try it?
Yeah. Yeah, we were scared like everyone else.
Yep.
I think it was pretty natural to and the unknown is pretty scary, so we didn't know. I mean, we were racking our brains, looking at numbers, like, is this possible to sell this many cases? We were like, can we sell this many cases a week? And so, like, yeah, it was so slowish or just like calm. And then I don't know what happened. But this shit's banana was the first beer to just go in an afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like the beer. I don't think anything changed. Because the consumption changed. People were home and consumption had changed, and people were drinking more. And the support of our cans during this has been overwhelming. We're grateful.
Yeah, I know I have been drinking more during this.
Yeah.
I haven't been. I've been keeping it to one or two. Not like no intention. It's just I don't know. I definitely drink socially, and I just when I'm by myself or just at home, I'll crack one for dinner. I think I'd have it. I think just it gets tough, and then this much. But that's fine. Some days, don't get me wrong, it's still bad. But
I've been cooking from home because I used to always go to restaurants. Now I'm like, we start doing Hello Fresh, so I'm learning how to cook, and I'm pairing with the beers. So that's what I'm doing, like depending on what I want. So
yeah, I feel like I've been getting a lot more adventurous in the beers that I'm trying right now. Before, for whatever reason, I would just kind of stick to the same things that I knew that I liked. But right now, I'm like, I don't really have anything to lose or anywhere to be, so I might as well just kind of, I don't know, see what sticks. But for you guys as individuals, just talking a little bit deeper about your experience with beer in general, when did you both first start getting into craft beer for real?
Okay, I'll say 95 because of my age, but it was more like 92. because my sister was the GM at Mad Max on McKnight Road. And so she wouldn't let her younger brothers drink cheap beer. So I started getting the different tastes and things like that. And also with, I ended up working at Mad Max, and also I got into Fatheads at their beer camp on Sundays. And yeah, those guys, they taught me how to drink. Like you would start, even though it would be like on a Sunday after church, say around noon, you come in, you get a stout, and you let it sit up front and let it warm up while you're having a couple beers and you're talking about beer and going. But, you know, have a couple of IPAs or a different style. And these guys, you learn so much about the different styles of beer instead of walking into a bar and go, hey, I'll take a Miller Lite. Now you walk in and be like, what style you want? And you experience the beer instead of just drink it. So
yeah,
that's all I got started with that.
When I moved to Pittsburgh, mine's probably 10, 12 years ago. When I moved to Pittsburgh, I moved to Regent Square, the first place I lived. And I lived right by D's, and my roommate worked at D's in Regent Square, which always, at that time, even now, they have a great beer selection. And at that time, it was premier, you know, premier. They have a great beer selection, yes, overall. But I think the hot dogs. Yeah. So I would go to D's. My roommate worked there, and I would just try. He would just hand me stuff, you know, just always get me stuff. And that's when I think that's still when regional breweries and some small nationals were things that were, you know, sought out. Yeah, even like Dale's, you know, and New Belgium, but then I was bartending. I was a lead bartender, and I got to make decisions about beer, about, you know, what goes on tap, and that's when I was like, okay, now this is in, this is out. You know, Headhunter was the shit, you know. But when you said Fatheads was a destination, and Fatheads was pretty incremental on my knowledge of these breweries.
That's my go-to beer. If I don't see a Grist beer, I go for Fathead.
Yeah, well, just that they're not even like the breweries when they were just a bar. You know, when before Fatheads.
Well, you're showing your age too.
Yeah, and then they went and made a brewery in Ohio after they started in Pittsburgh, and then they started doing production in Ohio. But I really appreciate what they did, you know, for Pittsburgh and that, at least me. And then I got this job here, and shit got really centralized, really localized on craft, and knowledge that I picked up working with Brian and Kyle has been incredible.
Yeah, I travel a lot for my regular job, and I can't wait to get back and have a Grist beer. You know, I'm just like, man, I miss it. When I'm traveling, I go to breweries, and I think the best one by far is Grist. Like, all of our products are great. I mean, well, our owners like back, but I can hear what I'm about to say, but they only had a couple beers that were okay. I've never really had a bad one. They made some different batches that were just okay, but they were just trying to mix it up. But they're always been good. Always good.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've never had a single beer from you guys that I have thought wasn't worth drinking. And if I'm out somewhere and I see a Grist House beer on tap, I'm like, I don't even care what it is. Just give it to me. I want it. And I feel like that makes sense to have a couple beers that are like, you know, not blow you away, but even if they're not all home runs, which most of them are, I feel like you're at least hitting doubles every time. Maybe.
No, nice reference.
Yeah.
There's a nice thing. Anytime I go to a picnic or a party, I always bring a case, and I notice at the end, all my beer's gone. The other selections are still there. I'm just like, I just want like a couple of our beers, and everybody just crushed them. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's a good thing, you know.
With you. Jeez.
Soon enough.
Yeah.
I just did it yesterday. Wow, North Park.
Nice.
We did it. We stayed out there. I had a viewing I went to yesterday, and at the end we were like, "Hey, you guys want to have a beer?" You know, and you know, it's my friend's mom died, and it was like, yeah, you know, let's talk. So I was like, let's go to North Park, the one at Lakeview. it's up the top, man. It's like it's hidden from everybody. Our cars are hidden and everything. And I was like, yeah, that's what we did. I got those 4-packs. So I was able to, we all have a beer, and it was cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so great. So taking it one step further, what was the very first beer that changed the game for you? So you talked about Fatheads. Like, what was the beer that you had that created that moment that was like, this is different? What the hell?
Wow, that's a good call on that one.
Green Flash Palette Record.
Bro, it's a killer. That's a great beer. And that's what I was. I got into the West Coast IPA, man. I like that bitter. I like that. You get that.
Yeah, so Green Flash in particular, just their IPA, their West Coast double, and then I remember when they made Palette Record, I saw that. That was the first beer. It's the first time I ever went out. I was like, where's that? You guys have that? That was the first time being that beer dude. First time being that beer dude. You got the Palette Record? No, okay. Later, like, and now I make fun of those people, maybe, but that was the beer where I would seek out, like, oh,
it takes the moisture right out of your body. You know what I mean? Yeah. As you're drinking, it's just, wow. It literally does destroy your palate. You're good, but you can't have too many. But I mean, that's a good question. I mean, other than Fatheads, going that way, I think Brooklyn is where I started with different tastes, like the Browns and their IPA.
East India IPA.
I mean, Bell's, and I don't know, like Southern Tier, I never really got into it, but I know I do like Coronado. Take it, they're idiot. That's probably like one of those got me into IPAs. So I think that's a double IPA, but still, that's how I got into that. So you get that West Coast style. Makes you just, you're drinking one, you feel like you're at the beach in LA. It's just a good,
I love it.
good beer.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, for me, it was a little over 2 years ago. So I had been dabbling in beer every now and then, but it wasn't really an experience for me up until I had this blueberry Kolsch from, I can't even remember where it is, because I was so surprised by how good it was that I didn't even think to ask who the brewery was. They just weren't questions that were on my radar, but it was a blueberry Kolsch, and as soon as I took my first sip, I was like, what is this? This is unreal. I didn't know that beer could taste this good. Like, and from that point on, I started paying attention to the different styles, the different breweries, the different flavor profiles, all that stuff, and it has been something that I'm just super into ever since.
I think it was a local brewery here.
It was a local Chicago brewery, but I can't remember. I was there to play a show. So my head was also kind of there too. So it was, oh man, it was so good.
I was just out in Chicago at Cigar City.
Oh,
I know that
nice.
one brewery.
Okay.
And then Kyle actually proposed to his wife at another brewery in Chicago.
Shoot.
So we hit up both. We had to go both of those at the same time. And then Goose Island, of course.
Yeah.
Had to stop in just to see it.
Yeah. Is that the same Cigar City that's in Tampa, or is it a different one?
Oh, it's a different one, because that's the one that makes that Jai Alai, right?
Yeah, Jai Alai, Florida Cracker.
Yeah, it's a small brewery. It was, it was right by the convention center, because that's what I was doing. I was working a food show there, and we just happened to see it. We couldn't get any Ubers because it's huge. But we said we'll walk for a little while, and like right by it, there was a Cigar City. So,
check and see. I don't know if they had it before you post that. See if they have a satellite in Chicago. I'm not sure if they do. And I just know the one in Tampa, so I'm not sure if they have one in Chicago.
Yeah,
they might be new if it is. Yeah.
Got a glass.
Oh, really?
Glass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know they had one.
Yeah, no, it's really small. It is really small. Like they had only had 4 beers.
Dang. Okay.
It's a very small little you know, like in the back, they had like 4 tanks, and that was it.
Wow.
Like, oh, bartender was awesome.
Was it in the airport?
It was awesome. Nah, right by the convention center. Michigan. I think it's all Michigan. But yeah, the bartender was the coolest guy ever, man. He was old, man. He had to be almost 60. But he sold me on every. I was like, cool. I bought glasses. I was like, yeah, those cool. Nice guy.
Oh, I feel that way anytime I visit a brewery. I'm like, just give me the experience, and then I end up buying a lot more than I ever planned to. But yeah, that's super cool. I'll have to look up that specific brewery because I had no idea there was one in Chicago called.
But it sounds like a cool dude. Was he cool dude?
Oh, he was the best. Man, hold on, I gotta figure out where it is.
Overall,
What's that?
I was gonna say, like, yeah, even if you're 60 or whatever age you are, like the culture of the breweries, just so fun.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, it's the people too. That's the best thing. That's why I go to breweries.
Yeah.
Not only for just the beer, but the people are always cool.
Really, really.
I mean,
cool.
you got to think of the people that we work here. Everybody's cool. Like, I mean, I've been here for 3 years, and I feel like it was yesterday, my first day. I mean, it's the only job I've ever had, and I've had a lot of bar jobs where it's family. I never want to leave. I'm happy to go to work, other than just to be like, hey, I'm going to make money for like an event. This is just completely experience behind the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I worked for several years, I think almost 4 years at coffee shops down in Nashville, and it was a lot of fun for me because I think it kind of trained my palate to look for different tasting notes and stuff, and it prepped me to love beer as much as I do now. But it was always a completely different experience.
That is Chicago. It is. It's affiliated.
Is it affiliated with them?
That's what it says right there. The renewed Florida beer headed to Chicago. So I guess it's smaller outside of it. Huh?
But you said they only had like four.
Very small. Yeah. Oh, sure, but
yeah, it looks.
It's small there.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, literally, the bar, you could probably have like 6 or 8 people at it, and that was it.
Wow.
So I don't know.
That's cool though. Good for them. That's
little spot.
Yeah.
To Chicago. Wow.
I wonder if
some reason, probably.
I wonder if it might be for shipping reasons. You know, I don't know how Florida's, if they can ship anywhere, but like us, you know, it's like, man.
Yeah,
oh, that's the brewery. I forgot.
What does that look like for
Head high
distribution of beer? Like, what's the process of getting your beer in restaurants, in stores, like wherever you sell your beer?
There is no process right now. There's no desire. It's not really a focus right now to be in a store, to be in a distributor. There's no point. You know, we're still small. We're still, you know, everything that we produce can potentially be sold through the tap room here. Maybe a little bit of room for outside sales for bars and accounts, but throughout certain times of the year, you know, we're churning and just to keep up with the tap room. During the winter, not as much, but throughout the summer, like it's turning. So it's not really a focus right now, but of course there's going to be room for that in the future. And when we finish this production facility, you know, that'll be a whole new world for us to explore and see what that's like. We'll definitely start with the state, with the region, the Western PA, maybe go north, just inch our way east. If it's there, it's not there. But there's no plans for rapid growth. There's plans to just do, you know, and see what makes sense.
I agree with the one thing is the demand is so high just for the tap room that I mean, I'm always talking because my friends own a couple of restaurants, and I'm always like, hey, can we get a handle at his restaurant? And it's like there's demand for that, it's just we're so busy here focusing on our tap house. So
yeah, I would imagine that would be a lot to have to stay on top of, especially if you are that crazy busy internally.
It just it works. It works how it is right now, and works well. And we can't do anything else. And having there's no point in having the beer available at an account and not available here at the brewery. It just doesn't make sense. You know,
Right.
if we make Hazeldelik and the entire batch goes out to 40 bars, and then someone comes to the brewery, he's like, "Let's go get that Hazeldelik." Well, sorry, it's at Joe Schmo's place. But thanks for stopping at the brewery. It's all out there. That's just not what we're looking for.
Yeah. And I think because you've established such a solid reputation for yourselves, people know your beer, people love your beer, and they go get it where they can, which is the tap room and now out at Collier. Like, people are willing to take the trip. Like, personally, I would drive out to Millvale if that was the only place I could get your beer. It just so happens that now there's a location that's a little bit closer to me that I can pick up some cans.
And that's just temp. And obviously, Collier,
Right,
that's just
right.
temporary situation. You've
Yeah.
seen the places, just
Yeah,
an
it's not
outlet
close.
this week. That was part of our, it's not close. And that was just part of our initial scare of like, well, if we have a second point of contact to make sales, it'll help
Right.
sell this. Because we thought we weren't going to be able to sell these cans, sell this beer.
Yeah.
And so we added Collier. We asked the township if we could just sell a few cans out there. And it's turned out that we could sell a good amounts out there.
that's right. I was surprised to see you right away. I was just like, yeah, I'm like, what are you? Just saw you in Millvale. I was like, wait, you're out here in Collier. All right, I didn't live out there, but
Yeah. Yep, that's
people have been great in that area.
Yeah, I'm always pleasantly surprised by the amount of traffic that you have over there just for can sales. Anytime I make that trip to pick up some for myself, there's always a handful of other people at any given time.
What day do you go? And do you go on Saturdays?
I go whenever I can. Sometimes that's the weekend, sometimes that's weekdays, and it honestly depends on when you've released the beers. So it really hasn't been a consistent time, but whenever I can make it out there. But yeah, I'm thankful for that because it's made the lockdown for me a lot more bearable. Being able to drink your beer.
So what sport do you normally talk about on the podcast most?
Well, so far, just because of how sporting, like, the news cycle has gone, it's been a lot of football because the NFL has had the most going on within their league. Like, the NHL really hasn't made any tangible steps towards the season, and since they were close to the playoffs, like, there's not really much they can do in terms of off-season movement because they're not sure if they're going to wrap up the current season that we're still technically in, and then baseball never really started. So it's been several episodes on football. Hockey's my favorite. The Penguins are my team. But I do love the Steelers a lot too. So it's been good to talk about them a little bit more. And after the season that they had that was just atrocious, having some good news with Ben and his arm and the draft and all that. So moving forward, whenever all of the leagues come back like they normally would be, I'll talk about all 3 professional teams. But at this point in time, it's a great time to start passion projects like this, but for sports in particular, it's been a little tricky since they're all at a standstill for,
Now we're on beer.
I was gonna say, I
Exactly.
talk about the sports. I just watched the soccer game with no fans, and like, soccer they're huge and they're loud, and it was just surreal to watch a game. And you're sitting there, I'm like, there's no fans. It's not fun. There's nobody. It was like it is just watching a game, and that's all it is. And the other one is I'm a PGA guy, and I'm like, hey, we're finally. They just did a match with Ricky, DJ, like all that, and it was fun. I was watching it. I enjoyed it. I don't know how many people did. Like some of my friends made some comments about it, but I'm friends with Tim Benz, and I'm just like, like, how are you writing right now? And he's on the he posted on the Trib, and he's still doing great. He's going back to days like why the Pirates suck, or why their ownership's always been cheap, or how we got lucky in the early 90s and recently. Like he had to reinvent himself and still bring life back to that and have questions and things like that for discussions with people. So
yeah,
it's different.
It is. It's really different, and people have had to get creative doing stuff, even as somebody who does music, trying to figure out what that looks like when I can't play shows and I can't travel for that. Like, it's been
What
awesome.
are you playing?
Yeah,
Just at home.
Just at home. Have you done any live streams or anything?
No, we talk about it. No, I've went live personally, but yeah, the band hasn't.
Okay.
We talk about it, and our drummer has the capability. He's done it he's in another group, and they've done it, and it looks great. But we haven't. We haven't. But I have the desire.
Yeah, it's hard to do, especially when you have a full-time job that keeps you as busy as this one would have to keep you. Like, it's hard. And just in general, these are such unpredictable circumstances and so exhausting too, that a lot of times, at least for me, I find that my creativity and my drive to make things happen for that have just been so low, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start with any of this. Like, I don't know how I could make tangible progress when this is just insane.
Yeah, and a lot of the writings have just been isolation, so it kind of creates isolation songs,
Yeah.
which are great, but this just kind of creates a cycle that I'm trying not to be in.
I feel you, because a lot of music comes from the heart, obviously, and it's a really emotional thing, but when it's all coming from that place of I'm alone, nobody's here, and I live alone too, so it comes in waves where I'm like, thank God I live alone, and other times I'm like, all I want to do is just see another human being, person. But yeah, it's interesting.
To say the least.
Yeah.
People are asking us.
No, go ahead.
People are asking us when we're opening. Well, people are like, "Are you opening this week?" Because we're like going to Yellow. You guys open tomorrow, Monday, and we're all itching to be around people, and we're gonna be open as soon as we can. But we're not, allowed. And it's just really, I think it's starting to get the people and human interaction. That's another great thing about the place here is that you're gonna see someone, you're gonna always get along with someone here. It's a stranger or something. You're always exchanging that. And that's what I miss.
Absolutely. I remember, and Chuck was there, the very last Friday before everything shut down was my day off, and I spent the evening at Grist House, and there was a lot of questioning around the whole thing, because that was when things were starting to pick up. But even then, like, talking to other people about it and just having that sense of we're all wondering these same things, and we're all here, and we're all drinking beer together, and it didn't feel as scary, honestly, because I was around other people and we could all just hang out. And I came alone. Like, I was there by myself, but I still ended up, you know, having a great time with the people who were sitting in the bar with me, because you just have that kind of environment in your tap room that people feel like they can strike up conversations with whoever is around, and it's comfortable.
It was St. Patrick's Day that day.
Yeah.
That was the day prior. It was a Friday or a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't even know. We're like, well, wow, who realized that's gonna be our last shift? You know, and it's just like, and just getting back to like normal is gonna be weird. Like traveling, like I'm not allowed to fly now. I have to do everything like Zoom things, and just get back to flying at the bar at the airport, or like my favorite people to meet, because they're like, yo, have a beer, and you start talking, where are you from, things like that. It's the same thing when we're bartending. You know, it's like, man, that's both industries I'm in are gone. Well, they're different. But Vegas just opened, but there's nobody on the strip. You know, there's like I can't remember. MGM opened with 3 people at a table, and it's just like, it's not fun. You're like, you like to interact and whatever. It's just a different world right now. We'll see how it goes. And going forward, I'm thrilled. We'll be back. It's just going to take some time.
And as soon as you announce that you're opening, I'm putting it in my calendar. And
but you know, it's going to be at
so many people,
restricted capacity, and it's going to be lots to get in. It's going to be like standing outside of. I think it's going to. This thought just came, but it's going to be like standing outside of an amusement park where you're just like standing in line. You're looking at people inside Grist House. You're like, I can't wait to go in there. And it's going to be like that. An amusement park.
Everybody's favorite part about going to an amusement park, waiting in line.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So it is
like back to the nightclub waiting. You're like
2 in, 2 out.
Can we get in?
And then I think it's just going to drastically, gently just squeeze the more and more. And you know, we let a few extra people in, or the places are going to eventually just like. You know, nothing's happening. There's been no changes, no new cases, and then I think it just slowly ramps back into like full capacity, and we'll see next winter. I don't know. But as soon as we're allowed, there'll be some sort of.
I can't wait for that day. It's gonna be fun.
That will be fun for everybody. Everybody's gonna just eat it up.
Then the mash will be back, and then we can get back to those Monday mashes.
That's one of the things that I've missed the most, hands down. The Monday night open mics at the Grist House. That was the first time I ever came to Grist House, and I had that. I had Glitter Panda, your collaboration.
Yeah, with Levante.
Yeah,
I still have one.
You still have one?
Yeah.
In a can?
Someone wants it.
Yeah.
Someone wants it.
You can have it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my
goodness.
I will.
Wait, I'll be at Kelley tomorrow. I'll bring it. You can have.
I will be there.
One of those beers.
Oh my
Yes, you can
gosh.
have them.
Wow. You just made potentially my whole year. This is awesome.
Nice.
Oh, easily.
That's what we do at Grist House, man.
Oh, you really do. Wow. This is excellent. Yeah, that I had it at an open mic last January, so over a year ago. And I came with Lily and was like, okay, I'm sold. I'm here every month if I
Chuck,
can.
you're coming through, bud.
It's gonna taste a little different, you know that. But
Oh yeah. But it's been
Yeah.
so long at this point that it doesn't need it. I wouldn't remember exactly how it tasted anyway.
Mhm.
It's been a
But it's
long
gonna be
time. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Wow.
bring back memories. But look at that. You got a glitter pan out of that.
Oh my
Probably the
goodness.
last one in existence.
Probably.
there might be two. I don't know.
Well, wow, Chuck, you're the man.
How about that?
Nah, just
What a win. What a,
Making dreams come true.
yeah, I have it. At the bottom, I have I keep all my grist because I have to hide them from everybody. So now I put them at the bottom, and I just saw one the other day. I was like, oh wow, I still have one.
That's awesome.
So-
So, on average, for both of you, how many cans, bottles do you have in your fridge at any one time? Like personal fridge.
An average.
Yeah.
Well, the fact my wife works here as well, so she'll buy beer, and we actually give it to people most of the time. Her parents love it. It was just her birthday, so everybody came over, and
Happy
they
birthday.
destroyed all our beers. But on average for me, I'm going to say 16 to 20,
Okay.
because I'm lying, but I'm just keeping a good number.
and I thought that was high.
Respectable.
Oh, damn. I got some aged ones.
Oh, dang.
Not counting my cellar, like barrel stuff is smallish, average, but like just drink pounders. But it's different for us, at least for me, because I'm here every day, and we can, like if I work at a brewery, so it's like we can today. We have some low fills of haze. I can take 4 of those home today if I want, and I probably will.
I need some of that double.
Yeah,
Double haze.
So it's 8, 12 for me. But I come here every day, so like
Right.
if I'm ever like I said, also I'm not drinking as much right now,
Yeah.
and so like it's not moving. I'm not having anyone over my house. When shit's back to normal, like Chuck said, he gets it all wet. When I have guests, that's when I'll probably go through a lot more beer. But it's
Yeah.
like me going through it.
I live in an apartment complex up on Washington, and like I'm friends with like everybody. And when they started to find out that, hey, you work at Grist, they're always like, hey, you want to come over? I'm like, yeah. But I realize what they're doing. They're just taking my beer.
Boy. Yep.
But they're cool. They're fun, but they just like the beer.
Yeah.
So I always make sure I have to entertain.
How about you? I was just curious to see where we're at. So Chuck's at like 30.
Yeah.
I'm at like 8, 10.
30,
I'm probably
16, 20.
I'm probably anywhere between 10 and 12 on average because I live alone. So I like to, I guess, hoard beer a little bit, especially if it's beer that I like. So if I get a 4-pack of something and I really love it, like I had the banana stout I had one for probably like 3 to 4 weeks just sitting there because I didn't want it to be gone. But eventually I drank it. So I kind of have that sort of rotation going where there's typically around 10 cans probably in there. And if I'm able to have people over, I typically have less because other people are drinking and it's not just me. But it's weird times right now. So, and I've also been trying to support a handful of Pittsburgh breweries too. So my consumption or my beer expense has gone up a little bit too. But
Yeah. Well, I guess it sounds about right. I mean, Chuck's a household of 2. He's at 6. It sounds so 8 to 10 per person. It sounds like.
yeah.
I think all the beer is in my refrigerator is Grist House beer. There's probably a growler in there.
I have an old I didn't count the growler in my count.
The other one's all Grist. I
I have
mean,
a growler. I have an old German. I have a
wow.
yeah. I'm thinking of that random shelf in the bottom.
That's what all. So I kept going through that as well too.
I was like, okay.
And one panda sitting at the bottom. So
Man,
yeah, we keep it at the bottom.
smart.
So.
Yeah,
But we're always doing that though. We're always buying it. Like we're like, if I'm buying a 4-pack because I know somebody's going to come over for one of our new beers. So I got to get a 4-pack, and then probably get another one like the low fills because people want to try one. We make it look perfect, and we get the low fills. They look different, but
Yeah.
so that's just it. Though. People know when something comes out, can you get me some? Or I mean, this online thing now. I've been texting people. I'm like, guys, don't sleep on this beer. Like 8 o'clock. They're always going, hey, can you get me some of those sours? I'm like, no. They literally, I watched the inventory drop from 8 to 0. It's 20 minutes. The seltzer, I didn't even try it, but that one, that's what 17 minutes.
No,
That was just,
Whoa.
not even.
it was ridiculous.
Insane.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like with our tablets, you can actually watch them all the way because we have to make sure we have enough for all the orders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's a great word. Sport's amazing right now. It's great.
Yeah, that's good. I'm so glad, seriously, because I sing your praises constantly. So to know that people are supporting you in that kind of way is really awesome, and I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's good because we got a good product. That's the key.
It's a great product. Yeah. So one final question for you, and it's going to be difficult, and I know that, but just try your best. You can say 2 to 3 if you want, but in your time working at Grist, what is your favorite beer that you guys have produced?
Ooh, that's tough.
We have a pen.
Oh wait, I already know. What was the name of it? Our pale ale. What was our pale ale called?
Rise and shine.
It's it. Horizon Shine. It was our pale ale. It was always there. They brought it back, I think, a year ago. But I go with that, or I like our red. We got we do a hoppy red, so I think that's mine. That's my go-to beer.
Is that the Camp Slap?
Yeah.
Oh,
You drink that a lot. You drink that on Mondays.
That's the one I like. And I like the double one. The double hop.
Squared.
That's it. That was it.
Let's see. One. There's no one. What's your favorite song? No. What's your thinking? No one knows. There's no one. Surprisingly, this year it went from my least favorite beer we made. It's a great story. It went from my least favorite beer that we've made.
Already know what it is.
To probably my favorite beer, just out of how unique it is. I hated it. Now I love it. It's Morning Fields, the coffee GL.
Oh, that one.
What? Oh, I thought it was Ripple.
Wow.
IPA.
No. Yeah, I love the Ripa. But actually, and so in that is the Ripa, but it's just too seasonal. It's not year round. So Morning Fields, I just yearn for it. Like no other. Maybe it's just so different. And last year I was like, no, it's not for me. Now it's my favorite. So that's a funny, crazy.
I thought it was the black IPA.
Then the black Ripa.
For sure.
What's that?
That one was, I wasn't expecting it to be what it was, and
different.
It was so different with the coffee and also the tea too. Like the way that they complemented each other like I just never would have anticipated coffee and tea tasting that way together in a beer.
And when you there's vanilla in it as well. So if you ask us this question in another year, like that'll be out the window and there'll be another new beer that we like. But when it comes to the hops, I mean, so there's just the off the wall beer, Morning Fields, and the Black Ripa is just my favorite seasonal IPA. And then if I was to choose just like a straight IPA of ours, like of our New Englands. Shit. See that chameleon stands out.
I was gonna space cactus. That's what's in my refrigerator right now.
Cool.
I mean, that's my go-to. I mean, haze, of course.
But let's play a game. Let's play one Grist House beer the rest of your life. What are you drinking?
Ooh.
That's it. Yeah. Wow. How silent that got. And mine's not Morning Fields. That Morning Fields is just like a.
Yeah, because
I can't have that the rest.
it
of
would
my life.
change.
Yeah.
Your palate would change in a year of drinking that all the time.
One Grist House beer the rest of your life.
I probably have to say Rise and Shine, but
Yeah.
since it's gone for so long,
See,
I would have to say Hazeldelia.
I might go riff up, but I think I'm just gonna open IPA. Jordan.
I think just based on how I feel like it would hold up over the years in terms of something that I would always want to come back to, Undead Unicorn.
Oh, that came to my mind. Yes.
Yeah, because it's like I just had it on for the episode that I released today, and I had it multiple times before that, but for whatever reason, when I drank it this week, I couldn't get over how much I loved it. I was like, this is beer. This is it. And it's like sort of bubblegummy sweet, but not sickeningly sweet, and it's creamy, but not so smooth that it doesn't have any kind of like texture to it. And I could drink that probably every day for the rest of my life.
Great choice.
I have one in my car right now. I have to drop off.
Great choice. Yeah, I'm going something. I'm just going with the New England. I don't even know.
It's
Oh, that's
But
still
yeah,
be
Good
haze.
question.
Yeah, that's a tough one thinking about the rest of my life. Okay, what's the last beer I can have? Well, I'm dying. I'm allowed to have one beer from Grist. What would it be? I like the Ripple call,
Okay.
but the Ghost also is great.
That's my favorite sour.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I would have to say haze though. The Hazeldelia by far is one I can just drink. I can drink it all the time. And seasonally you can do that. It's great all the time. But if that was like say maybe like my last beer, that's the only one I'm gonna go with haze.
Okay. Yeah, if we're doing like Death Row final
Yeah, that works.
style beer,
Yep.
I think I would honestly go with the Paddler because it's so indulgent and like a meal, like a dessert in itself. So
Yeah.
if I were on my way out and I could have one more beer, I think that it would have to be that one because
Cool.
it was so good.
Great call. I'm going with the Ripper.
Okay.
That's a seasonal for me though, but I'm like, I love that beer. It's awesome.
That is a good
Hurrah.
one. I remember.
awesome.
When was the last time you had it?
I'm in the fall. We made it in the fall, I think September.
Okay.
We make it in the fall. We make one batch a year in September.
Brian's favorite beer.
He likes it. Brian likes it. I like it. It's just perfect. It kind of starts fire pit season too. That's kind of why I like it. It's kind of starts that's. I think that there's just a lot around that beer contextually that I like about it. Not even, including the taste, but there's the context of and fall's coming.
Yeah.
I like fall.
Same. It's my favorite.
Me
And
too.
that's one of the more unique beers I think I've ever had because I didn't know that black rye IPAs were a thing. So to have that and get to experience that when it must have been an open mic that I tried it, but I really, really loved it. So now I know it's fall and I can look forward to that.
Yeah. Back to the rounded, back full circle to where this started. Rounded beers done well. That's I like about it.
There's oh my goodness. Yeah, all over the place, but it's incredible. And I really appreciate that because you both mentioned it. If you love beer, you're never going to like crave the same thing consistently, like for different moods, for different seasons, for different times of the day. Even there's always going to be a different style of beer that fits, and you could get every single one of those styles from Grist and be set.
Exactly.
Another beer now. Thinking about this, sort of go through all the beers in my mind. I'm like,
I'm gonna have a go.
wow, I want to go see what we have down there.
I'm gonna have a ghost. Well, I'm gonna have a
Ghost.
I had some beers last night.
That's like that. For all the sours, like that, the Gossip Ghost is gonna be my favorite.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
when I came back.
You all do great work. Seriously, I love you guys. I love the brewery, and I'm really looking forward to getting back down there to hang out with you and drink beer.
I look forward to having you here for that. Looking forward to hearing your music.
Yeah,
Looking
same
forward
for
to-
you. Same for you.
Yeah. Come out of quarantine, on fire.
That's right.
Better than when you entered.
Yeah, I hope so, for sure. But thank you both so much for
Sure, yes.
coming on and hanging out.
Totally, man.
This was cool.
That was awesome.
Good luck with the pod. Good luck with this.
Thank
Really,
you.
who knows? How'd you get into it?
I had wanted to do it for a while. A couple years ago when I moved back from Nashville, I briefly considered the idea of going back to school and getting a degree in sports journalism because I love sports so much. But I didn't really feel like school was the right thing for me at the time, and I don't really like school in general. So at some point last spring, I felt like, what if I just did a podcast for fun? There's no pressure, no real expectations or goals, just a way for me to have an outlet to talk about sports. And I sat on it for a while, and then it developed into this idea back at the beginning of the year where I would do each episode talking about sports, having a beer from a local brewery, and kind of having that be my thing, Pittsburgh sports, Pittsburgh beer, and just chatting about those two things. So whenever everything shut down, I sat myself down and I was like, okay, listen, you can do this. Like, you want to do it, you have the time to do it, and this is your opportunity. So that was whenever I decided, like, I have all the equipment, I can make it work, and just kind of see what happens. Because again, there's no pressure. I just am doing it because I enjoy it, and it's fun for me. So
it is fun to do. I listen to a lot of them. It's good to be on one.
there you go. Well, thank you again. It
Yeah.
was great having you, Chuck. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, that's cool.
Right.
Later. I'm at 4 to 8.
Okay,
All right.
8. Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both again. I hope you have a great day, and to see you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thanks for thinking of us, Jordan. We'll see you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Later.